How long have you been rapping, brother? Because like I think I first kind of came up on you, I would say right around like early 2020. I think I reached out to you sometime in 2023. It was before you dropped your album in 2023.
Right. I think last time I was out here, you reached out to me a minute ago.
We missed each other the last time you were here.
Last time I was here, but it was like, you know, that's how it goes. But I'm glad to be here now. But I just turned 21 about a week ago.
Oh, you're a fucking child.
I am, yeah, unfortunately. But, you know, that's what it is. But, you know, I started like kind of fucking around, like I'd say when I was probably 12, 13, just scribbling, like writing like rhymes. Right. Not really even like making songs, but just kind of like thinking of clever rhymes and shit. And then I started like recording by the time I was probably like 15, 14. And then I started really, really like taking it seriously. Like this is my only path in life or else life is not worth living when I was like 16 or 17.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah. And then, you know, it's kind of like, I feel like every 2 years, like it's like a gradual like level up of like what's going on, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like too, the type of music you make is like, it's obviously, I feel like being, you know, out of New York, man, it's refreshing because I feel like New York's gotten to the point where we hear so much of, like the big shit that's popped out of New York, obviously in the last 5-6 years, been the drill shit, you know?
Absolutely.
Which is good, you know, I like a lot of that shit, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like you're doing a good job of representing like the, you know, what we grew up loving New York for.
Right. But
shit.
You know, at the same time, like I feel like with that being said, which I definitely take pride in, I also like want to make that approachable for kids who's my age. You know what I'm saying?
No,
and
for
like,
sure, because you don't want to be the dude who only old heads listen to.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I almost fear that I like am bordering on being that. You know what I'm saying? But I also know ultimately, you know, obviously love to all my older fans. But
I think Joey did a good job of that.
Going on this tour though, I will say like there was definitely a couple older cats in there every night, but it was mainly like younger kids, like I'd say in their 20s. Some of them not even 20 years old. You know, had a fucking little 12-year-old kid came with a Coogee sweater and like jorts and Timberlands on, like got the whole getup,
got the whole fucking.
What is he brought his whole family
costume
out? Yeah, that shit was awesome, man. You know what I'm saying?
How do you feel like you're able to kind of like? Because I feel like at the end of the day, man, there's always like a appetite for like real shit, for dope bars, for dope beats and shit. It's just a little harder to cut through, especially when you're talking like to a TikTok generation. What has been like the trick for you, like in terms of making sure you're not, you know, I guess only rapping to old people?
Can I tell you the truth is just not being a hater. You know what I'm saying? Like fucking with all types of music. Like I'm not one of them dudes who's like, yo, turn off that shit. Like I fuck with all types of music. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I like doing shit that's gonna catch people off guard and like, you know, having different influences within my shit. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So I think it's honestly just keeping your options open because I think for me and my place in New York especially, like everybody knows me on all different sides of the shit. I know the cats making jerk. I know a lot of the drill cats.
Right.
I know a lot of the fashion cats. I know all the motherfuckers doing everything in New York. I know the hardcore cats, everything, you know. But I think we all have like a mutual respect for each other because I'm not trying to invade on what they're doing. I'm not trying to like be like, yo, I'm gonna do this, but it's a mutual respect just because like we've been seeing each other, we done shows with each other, like all of that, you know what I'm saying? So
for sure.
I think being open-minded in short, you know what I mean?
I think being a hater too is a thing that a lot of folks we're being an elitist. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's
Look, everybody is a hater, truthfully, but like, you know, and you know, you're allowed to not like things too. Don't get me wrong, but like, you know,
but don't go out of your way to shit on it if you don't fuck with it.
Facts,
like
you know,
if somebody's out here winning and people enjoy it for what it is,
man,
it's like
there's so much music out there, bro. If you don't like something, like
you'll find something you do like.
There's something out there for you.
What was it like? Because for people who aren't too familiar with the New York area, so Washington Heights is essentially uptown, kind of like near Harlem, right?
Yep. Yeah, like kind of in between like Harlem and the Bronx. Like Dykeman is up there. That's a big part of like, you know, it's kind of its own neighborhood, but it's
what's that area like? Is a lot of Dominicans or
yeah, definitely very Dominican, but it's also very, I'd say, community based. You know what I'm saying? Like I kind of realized recently that it's almost like Chinatown but Dominican. You know what I'm saying? Like, and people don't really think about it that way in New York, I think, just because, like, it's I'd say less populated. Like, people go through Chinatown to get to the lower, to get to Soho, to do this or to do that, and there's a new motherfucker going there to make a TikTok about the $5 dumplings every every day, you know.
For sure.
But in the Heights, it's more of a like community that kind of stays within itself. You know what I'm saying? I know people who just don't even go downtown. Like their whole life exists uptown. You know what I'm saying? And like that's dope. But it's also like it shows the community within that neighborhood, and I feel like it's lacking that type of backbone within a lot of neighborhoods in New York. You know, and I think to me, I'm getting old enough to start to kind of become conscious and be like, oh, this is different from when I was younger. Like, I don't remember this looking like that.
Like, shit's changing.
Shit's changing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm old enough to be like, wow, like, I actually have a memory from 10, maybe 12 years ago.
Yeah, when
you know
this wasn't here, this looked different, or this,
But I still feel like the Heights still has a level of familiarity. Obviously, it's coming up, but, you know.
Has the gentrification hit up there?
It's like slowly creeping. It's creeping them in Inwood, in Dykeman, definitely. Where I'm from, like kinda, you know what I'm saying? Like there's like more towards Amsterdam. They put up a hotel a few years ago, but like I don't think anybody goes to that hotel, bro. Like you know what I mean? But for the most part, I would say no though. Like you still got all the poppy shops, everything that you it's like it's very I'm trying to think of the word, but it's like self-servicing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
It's self. You really got to leave. Like
exactly. Like if you didn't want to leave, you wouldn't have to.
Were you when you flipped the Big L Lifestyles of the Poor and Dangerous cover for United Palace? You got to know when you do that.
Absolutely.
What comes with that?
Nah, for sure. And you know, I think doing that was definitely a very big statement, especially for someone so
big
young
statement
at the time.
for sure.
You know what I'm saying? And I think it still was something that I don't look back on and regret, though. You know what I'm saying?
No, because I think the album was dope, and I think I think you just got to kind of know, like, all right, yo, if we're gonna redo the Big L cover, we got some responsibility here. Yeah.
It's shoes. But I also wasn't even trying to be like, yo, I'm Big L. Like that wasn't what I was. No, trying but it was just an homage, you know. But ultimately, I also have had kids be like, I didn't know who Big L was until I scrolled through your comments and saw people being like, isn't this the Big L cover? And they went and checked it out, which to me is kind of the point of it, you know what I'm saying? And ultimately, I just kind of wanted to take some of the themes that he was speaking through on that album and kind of translate them through a modern day lens, through my lens, and through a lens that took place like maybe 2 miles more uptown, you know what
I
I'm
want to
saying?
hear somebody do Devil's Son in 2025.
That'd be crazy.
Even though that wasn't on that album. Do you like Big Picture or Lifestyles of the Poor and Dangerous more?
I would say Lifestyles just because to me, like, you know, it's more concise, but it's like 10, 11 songs.
It was
maybe.
also like he made that album.
Yes.
Big Picture was a bunch of stuff put together.
Big Picture is dope, though.
Oh, it's
like
amazing.
The Big Daddy Kane joint on there is crazy.
Pardon me, but I'm fucking sick with it. Shout out to Big
God,
No, I mean, Big Picture, I actually prefer Big Picture, but I know why
it's
people...
like a little more polished. But like that's the thing.
The thing is, though, it was also like they put that album together after he died with a bunch of stuff that was out there. Like, think about it. There's like freestyles on there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Like, yo, something I'm starting to understand as an artist and kind of as I get further. And obviously, like, this both does and doesn't really apply to that because it was a posthumous album. But